All right, we're on the air, everyone.
Let's go
You want to do announcements or you want me to?
Sure. Call to order and statement of compliance. Adequate notice of the meeting/hearing has been provided by posting a copy of the public meeting/hearing dates on the municipal bulletin board, by sending a copy to the Echo Sentinel, and by filing a copy with the municipal clerk. Standard board procedures. Any meeting/hearing conducted by the board is a quasi-judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision. And decorum appropriate to judicial meeting must be maintained at all times. Electronic devices. All in attendance are asked to mute their phones or electronic devices so as not to interrupt the proceedings. Pledge of Allegiance. You lead us, Tom?
I'd be glad to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, I like that, the way you did that.
And for the record, this is the zoning board meeting of the reorganizational zoning board meeting for January 21st, 2025.
Yes, thank you. Okay, now we have to do the oath of office.
Deb, did you distribute oaths to all the
I did.
new board members? Okay.
And Chair.
There was one change to the agenda. Our returning member, Randall Watts, will be, he's excused this evening. He will be sworn in as a regular member at our next meeting.
Yeah, he's got a fever.
Do you have an extra copy by chance, Deb, so I can read off the oath to
I
everybody?
don't. See if Jerry will let
Do
you
you have Randy's with you?
share. Huh?
Yeah,
Randy.
Randy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you have-
Randy's, that'll be the same thing.
Pass it
Problem
down.
solver, that's good.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, would you guys stand up, please? Jerry, Meredith, Alex, and Paul?
Please raise your right hands as you're doing it as well. So
Would you
just,
stand up?
okay. I'm administering the oath, might as well. Okay, so just to be clear, just want to make sure the mic picks me up. So board members, Zadrozny, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your last name correctly.
Zadrozny.
Zadrozny and White, just to make sure when we get to the duties of section that's highlighted and bolded down there, that you say alternate, either number 1 or number 2, depending on who you are. And then for everybody else, you're just zoning board of adjustment member. So, okay, if you guys will repeat after me, I will start. There we go. Hello? Okay, good, it's picking me up. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
and to the governments established in the United States
And to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state.
under the authority of the people,
Under the authority of the people.
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
And that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
perform all duties of,
perform all duties of
I'll state your office,
zoning board alternate member, alternate 1.
according to the best of my ability,
According to the best of my ability.
and that I will not use my office to grant preferential treatment,
And that I will not use my office to grant preferential treatment.
nor to seek personal gain,
Nor to seek personal gain,
favor, or advantage
favor, or advantage.
not available to the public,
Not available to the public.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, welcome aboard. There we go.
you, guys.
It's official.
Congrats.
Very nice.
Welcome, Alex. Thank you. Welcome, Paul. Thank you.
Roll call.
Okay. Mr. Aronio.
Here.
Mrs. Crawford Collins.
Here.
Mr. Garrett.
Here.
Mr. Giannakis.
Here.
Mr. Grosskopf.
Here.
Mr. Rosenberg.
Here.
Mr. Watts is excused this evening. Mr. White.
Here.
Mr. Zadrozny.
Here.
Did I say it correctly?
Correct. Thank you.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. All right. Now, we have the election of the chairman. Would someone like to make a nomination for the office of chairman?
I nominate Edwin Garrett Jr. for office of Chair of the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Do I hear a second?
I second.
Thank you.
Any other nominations? There being none, so I will now take the roll. Mr. Grosskopf,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Aronian,
Yes.
Mr. Giannakis,
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Yep.
Mr. Zadrozny,
Yes.
Mr. White.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much for your.
Oh, well, yeah, I was gonna say.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah, do you wanna vote for yourself?
Yeah, yes.
There you go.
All right. All right, nominations for vice chairman. I hereby nominate my good friend and compadre, Tom Welkoff, for vice chairman. Can I hear a second?
Second.
Any other nominations? Nope, there being none. Okay. Chairman Grant,
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Aronian,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Giannakis,
Yes.
Mr. Zadrozny,
Yes.
Mr. White,
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf.
I humbly vote yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you for your confidence in us,
Welcome back.
members. And I'd like to welcome both Alex and Paul, our new members. It seems like we're getting new members a lot quicker now. I hope that we stabilize and stick with, because people need to have a little more experience in the board. And I know Alex has been around the block. He's been on the planning board. He's been on the township committee. And Paul, you'll catch on. It's not a hard thing. It's just, and I encourage everyone on the board, especially the newer members, to please ask questions. Please take an interest. Please take an active interest in the applications, because everybody has their point of view. Everybody has good questions. And sometimes the applicant, sometimes you think of good questions that no one else thinks of. So please do not be bashful, or, just because you're new doesn't mean you can't participate fully in the application.
Not to step on the chairman's toes, but you'll get a contact list of everybody that's on
Yes.
this board. And if you have a question that you feel might be easier to just speak with somebody, set aside and get some answers, then feel free. Reach out to me, reach out to Ed, I'm sure Gary would take your call, right, Gary?
Yeah.
We do have to be
For a
careful
dollar.
of doing that, though, right?
Yeah,
We
we
can't-
can't
we
talk
can't-
about substances.
Get some-
Yes.
You can talk
right,
about
yes.
procedural things. If you have a procedural question, if you have a question about, what you can and
Administrative
cannot do,
duties.
yeah, as a board member,
As
things
opposed
like
to
that.
policy and.
Yeah.
individual
If you have a legal question,
applications.
feel free to ask our attorney when he's here. Bring it up at the board meeting, because that's why we have a legal consultant to answer the legal issues that we might think of. And a lot of times, there are some perplexing legal issues that we have to debate.
Maybe would be a good idea for Chris, since we have a few new members, just to, whether now or some point in the future, give a couple of, a couple of bullet points, do's and
Yeah.
don'ts maybe.
Yeah. I'll see,
Yeah.
I'm sure that comes with the territory. They're gonna have the class, but
Yeah.
for now.
Oh, that's another thing, too. I don't know if you have you taken that, you took that class, right?
Probably need a
Yeah,
refresher.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a mandatory class you have to take. It basically teaches an overview of what it is to be a board member, and they kind of like mush the two together, planning and zoning. It's really not a separate thing. You learn the overall aspects of being a board member, but as far as what we do here in our particular circumstances, you have to learn by being here. So, and we have very unique issues that come up in our township, mostly water and steep slopes and things that are more unique to our situation. But you do learn a lot in those classes. They give them at the Morris County College, right? And sometimes they give
Well,
them.
there are a lot, I have to
Yeah.
get the list.
There's a few locations
A
and.
few locations,
yeah.
it's also mostly online now.
Well,
I was just gonna say,
online?
they probably offer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Most of the courses now are offered Zoom.
Oh, I didn't know that,
Pandemic.
okay. The bad thing about that is you don't get to interact with other people from other towns and talk about their, there's no substitute for being in a classroom with people from different municipalities and hear their point of view and what they have to go through. A lot of times, that's well worth the trip there to those places. But if you can do it by Zoom, that's fine.
And I'll just clarify further what Mr. Aronio and Chairman Greg said, that any legal questions or application questions regarding to applications should come through me first.
Right.
And then generally what I do, if I can't answer it, then I reach out to our legal team.
Yeah. But I mean, if you have a question like on a night that we're here,
Of course.
you ask it,
Of
and,
course.
and we'll,
Oh,
we'll talk about it, and our attorney will either answer it or do research on it and have the answer for it. Because sometimes the questions need a little more research and a little more investigation.
What I was saying was just so you don't unintentionally violate the Open Public Meetings Act, right?
Exactly.
By creating a quorum via
Right.
email
Right.
or
Yeah,
telephone chain
yeah.
or something like that. Just
Yeah.
be conscious of that, you'll learn about
If
it.
there's
Yeah.
one, sorry to interrupt, Mr. Chairman, just one piece of advice, because I learned this the hard way years ago when I was on school board. not that I got in trouble for it, but never reply all to an email.
Right.
Right.
Couldn't
Like-
say it fast enough.
'Cause- right,
I
exactly.
was gonna say, it's better not to ask questions about applications in emails, because
Or
then-
consult multiple board members about the same
Right.
thing.
Yeah, or that, yeah. But, you know, you can call me if you have an issue about a question about procedure or something like that I can answer. And if I can, I'll get the answer for you. So, that being said, let's make this a quicker meeting. The next thing we have to do is the board appointment resolutions. We have the resolution for the appointment of board secretary. That would be Deborah. And do I hear a motion to appoint the board secretary?
So moved.
I have a
Second. Second.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Grosskopf?
Gladly, yes.
Thank you. Mr. Aronio?
Yes.
Ms. Crawford Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Giannakis?
Yes.
Mr. Zadrozny?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
And Chairman Grant.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you all.
Aye, yes, that was an easy one. Now we have the legal firm. We have the appointment of the board attorney. I guess, has everybody read through this? Steve's name is on it, but the law firm of Savo, Shank, Corsini, Warner, Galipse, oh my God, how many names I got on
I
here?
know.
Oh, Godnick and Fisher.
Everybody but me has their name. on it.
Everybody but
Come
you.
on, Chris, we want you on the first one.
We have, I think, what is it, 1, 2, 3,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
seven named partners plus one other partner, and then 2 associates, including myself.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So, at any rate.
It's a lot of chiefs.
Yep.
No indeed.
I think so.
Oh, okay. There's a, issue that, well, that's, okay. We have, is this a typo, or is this, on the second whereas, or the third whereas, it says $175 per attendance, and then $170 for legal services, including those of the is that for paralegals, or just attorneys, that 175?
No, that's just, the 175, that paragraph is strictly just for the legal services.
Oh, just for
In this
legal, okay.
resolution-
But,
Alright.
but on page 2 of 12, same thing? 175 for meeting and hearing attendance and 175 for other legal services? Is
Yes.
that concurs, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We, basically, in the contract is where we attach the,
Actual breakdown,
correct.
right, okay,
For other services from their office.
okay, all right.
It's everything in the first whereas, right?
Right, right,
Yes, correct.
Litigation, drafting resolutions, review of easements.
yeah, which is the attorney work.
Yeah, this resolution is just strictly for attorney services.
Okay, do I have a motion to move the resolution to appoint the board attorney?
I'll move it.
Second? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay.
Mr. Aronio?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Ms. Crawford Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Giannakis?
Yes.
Mr. Zadrozny?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Grosskopf?
Yes.
And Chairman Grant.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you all very much for your continued confidence, not just in the firm, but in me. You know, as you guys know, I'm a fairly new attorney. I've been doing this for about 3 years now, so I appreciate,
You learn
giving it a
quick.
chance. So thank you guys.
They should pay more.
We have another one here for the engineer. It's it's Mr. Joseph R. Rooch of Van Cleef Engineering Associates. Anybody have any questions or concerns about that resolution? It's 2 pages. I think it's the same resolution as we passed every year, right? Okay. Do I hear a motion to appoint the board engineer?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay.
Vice Chairman Grosskopf?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Aronio?
Yes.
Ms. Crawford Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Giannakis?
Yes.
Mr. Zadrozny?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Chairman Grant.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Now, the next one we have is the planner. So now we have the law firm of Phillips, Price, Leahy, whatever, the Guido, Leahy and Hughes. Can't pronounce some of these names. And we're fortunate to have Liz Leahy. Any questions or comments about that?
So she is not officially our planning consultant, it's the firm?
It's always the firm you name.
It's always the firm,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, because our attorney in that,
Yeah, that's different.
our, and,
Yeah,
okay.
the attorney you name specifically.
Yeah.
Because
engineering firms and planning firms, they generally send the same individual.
Yeah,
There are occasions when they've had conflicts and they couldn't attend and they send somebody else, as you well
Right,
know,
right.
but.
because they're, you know, they could be for vacation,
Right.
sickness, or conflicts, they have to send someone else. Do I hear a motion to appoint the planning consultant?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay.
Mr. Giannakis,
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Yep.
Mr. Aronian,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Zadrowski,
Yes.
Mr. White,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Grosskopf,
Yes.
Chairman Correct.
Yes,
Motion carries.
you're saying his name better every time.
I am, at least,
Practice makes perfect.
there you go.
Now we have the appointment of alternate board professionals, which takes up the traffic engineer and other people that we might need on a as-needed basis for some of these applications, because they deal with major roadways and impaction of traffic. We've had to use a different engineer for that, because most of the time, if the applicant has one, we need one, you know, to review what he did. So, has everyone had a chance to look that over? Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd also just quickly point out, I think this also designates an alternate engineering and planning firm in the
And
event
planning,
that our
right,
engineer. and planning-
engineering and planning, I meant. So, because sometimes there's a reason, because there's a specialty area that they have to go into. Do I hear a motion to move?
I meant not just that, I meant in the event that our regular guys are conflicted out for a conflict of interest.
Right, well, not only that, but also
Well, that's it. Yeah,
for
special-
specialty
yeah,
items
that's
like
right.
traffic
Right.
and things.
Right.
Do I hear a motion to approve the appointment of alternate board professionals? Don't speak at once, guys, come on.
I'll move it.
All right.
I'll
Do I have a
second.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Aronian,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Grosskopf,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Giannakis,
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Yep.
Mr. Zadrowski,
Yes.
Mr. White,
Yes.
Chairman Correct.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, now, we have the 2025 meeting/hearing schedule. If everyone would take a look at it, you have it in your packet. As you notice, we have no second meeting in July unless needed. I mean, these are flexible things. Sometimes we have a big application and we need to get it done. We will schedule second meetings, but normally, if we're not up against the clock about something, we normally don't. So you'll notice we have none in July, none in August, none in November, December, and January, because January, because of the timing of the Township Committee reappointing the members that need to be reappointed, we can only have one meeting.
And I will note that this board and previously history, we've had 2 meetings in the month of November.
Yes,
But
yes.
as we've previously discussed, based on timing between the
Thanksgiving.
municipalities and Thanksgiving,
Yeah, it's hard.
it's almost impossible to give this board another date.
Yeah, unless we steal one from the planning board, in case they're
Right.
not busy.
I mean, we can add a special meeting on a Thursday or a Wednesday if we need to.
Right,
Again,
Yeah.
but that's why there's only one scheduled for November
right,
now.
it's holidays and things.
Correct.
right. But sometimes the planning board doesn't need their Tuesday, and we take
Correct.
theirs.
We swapped, yes,
We
which is
swapped.
what we did last year.
Right. Any questions about the meeting date, meeting schedule? Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the 2025 meeting schedule?
I'll move it.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
These we can do all in favor,
Yes.
so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All righty, now we have the notice of publication, which is what I basically state in the opening, but it's breaks it down to Echo Sentinel and Morris County Daily Record.
Before this is moved,
Yes,
may I ask
go
a
ahead.
question? I know this is coming up, electronic announcements. Does that need to be designated here anywhere as a future option?
Not right now, but
Okay.
I think in the very near future.
So we can amend it mid-year,
Yeah,
let's say?
absolutely.
Fine.
Okay.
Does, Chris, do you want to like explain to the board that there's legislation coming out?
Right,
that's gonna-
Yeah.
that's
why-
gonna change the, as
What's
Deb
it
was
gonna
alluding
say?
to. It's basically gonna allow for electronic publication of notice as opposed to having you publish in the newspaper.
Okay.
Which also includes for applications.
Right, exactly.
Well, a lot of newspapers stopped printing, so.
That's
so-
why.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's
This
hard.
certainly
They're
won't have that
online.
situation.
Right, so if your newspaper goes out of print and it's on the computer, you're almost forced to.
Right.
Okay, do I hear a motion to accept the notice of publication resolution?
I'll move it.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now, we have the next one, which is the resolution for applications, which is the posted the township website, once memorialized by the board. It's just a procedural thing that we do every year. Do I hear a motion to accept the resolution for applications?
So moved.
Hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now we've got the next one, which is the meeting cutoff. Nobody wants to stay past 10:30, do you? Okay.
No,
Tonight.
so therefore I'll move that meeting cutoff.
You'll move that one, okay. Do I hear a
Second
second?
that.
Can I third it?
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. So now we have we have a resolution.
We do.
So, did everybody have a chance to look through that resolution of what we did, how long ago now?
This is back in November.
November,
Yeah.
yeah. When are the other ones coming?
Working on it.
Next meeting.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
good.
next meeting.
Next meeting, okay.
I'm very well backed up. I had a lot
Oh,
of
that's
very
okay.
big
I
cases
just,
right
you know,
now.
that, I mean, I'm just thinking about the applicant. I don't want, because they can't get started until we do that.
Understand.
So this is Mr. Wang, which is the 12 Ave Maria Court. This is the house that had the fire, and he's trying to build it again.
Yep.
So any questions or comments about the resolution, the wording, anything like that, before we pass it? Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution of the Board of Adjustment, Township of Long Hill, Morris County, for 12 Ave Maria Court, application number 24-22Z?
I'll move 2422Z.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
All right,
We only-
roll
we
call.
have- We have 4 that are not available.
Yeah, we have,
So eligible members for this are the ones that I'm gonna call, so.
Yes.
Mr. Aronio?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Grosskopf?
Yes.
Mr. Giannakis?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Chairman Correct.
yes,
Motion carries.
all right, now the guy can get started. So, the next thing is old business, rules of the zoning board of adjustment. There was some debate, I don't think we ever had a formal vote on
I
it.
still haven't
No, we
found
never
it.
have
Yeah, I don't believe so.
I'm telling you, we did not.
No, I know we didn't, I don't remember, because we
That was
kept
the draft
saying,
last time around.
we kept saying
Next
we were
time.
gonna put it
That's what was
off.
supposed to get voted on. Yeah.
So
So.
the front page will already change. it's
Yeah,
already-
that'll change. So, this is pretty much, I had a chance to read them all over. It's pretty much the same as what we've been talking about. We find it, we've honed it down to the wording. Thanks to Chris, he's used part of our old ones, some new ones, and now this is the new standard, gold standard, right?
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Platinum standard, even
Yeah,
better than.
and, you know, guys, if something changes with the law, or something changes that we have to amend these, that's what happens sometimes, because these are subject to state and local, rules and regulations, and we can't always assume they're gonna stay, but, for right now, these pretty much follow the, what we know as the rules and the laws, and, I think we did a darn good job on these, because they kind of answer almost every question you could think of. I would recommend that the new members read these. They are something new. They're not, if someone sat on the board in the past, planning board, I don't think even has these yet, right?
Not
They
yet.
haven't even, right, they haven't even done them.
Actually, once this board adopts these,
You're
I'm
gonna-
gonna adapt them for the planning board.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
what
you have
comes
to adapt them,
Right.
right. So,
Discussion point?
yes, go ahead, what page?
On page 12,
12, okay.
at the top, item C. Just noticed this afternoon, that each board member shall notify the board secretary as to whether he or she will be attending the upcoming meeting of the board by not later than the close of business on Friday before such meeting. You get the sniffles over the weekend, that might be impossible, so maybe we should say, should endeavor
Well,
to.
there's another paragraph that talks about that, when it says, exclusion, it says if you're sick.
Okay, business comes up, something else.
Yeah, I think I
But can we make it by Monday morning at the latest?
Yeah, that's,
So that if any changes need to happen, like the board's not gonna meet on Tuesday, let's not tell everybody on 5 o'clock on Tuesday.
would anybody have a problem changing that on the Monday
Real quick, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I've just remembered, one of the provisions towards the end is removal of board members, and, for good cause, you could be removed, absences uninformed, right, Tom? So I remember there was a clause in there that said if you were sick, that would be excused automatically, so you would
Right.
have, like, even if you didn't notify before Friday.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
so
have any
that's
risk.
what I was saying, there
Yeah,
is
no,
something that takes care of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we need to change it, because if you do get sick,
Right.
you just call up that day and say, hey, like Randall did.
Other things could happen too, like
This
you
is
could have some other type of work
Well, it does say
emergency or
that.
something like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
there
that
is
could be
something
last
in there.
second.
I agree with you. This is saying the Friday before. I think that's maybe too long.
It should
a period.
actually, in my opinion, I think it should be on a best efforts basis, like,
What this
because
is also saying is that
if you're in
you
a
have
car
to say
accident, you
whether you're
can't
coming
call
or
board
not.
maybe,
can't
you know?
just, not say anything and show up. And that's, I'm sorry, I've got it,
I
got
agree
in
with
my
that,
memory
too.
banks that I'm coming, like you always know I'm kind of coming unless
that's
something
kind of my
pops up.
thing. I'm here unless I tell you I'm not, right?
Right.
So,
Well, it says not be attending,
Whether he or she
will
will
not be attending.
right.
You don't have to say you are
Oh,
attending, you have to say you will
Alright, so
not.
this is
well,
just
whether
something-
is whether or no. I mean, yes or no.
And the reason we're putting
Weather.
talking about this is, everybody has to understand from my position that, and this year was a perfect example where we had to cancel a meeting because we didn't have a quorum.
We didn't have 5 either.
Correct. And this board sees a lot of use variances. The attorneys for use variances want 7 voting
Minimum.
members because it's a supermajority, which means they need 5 positive for it to pass. There was one occasion this past year we only had 6 members because somebody was recused and whatnot. It's imperative for everyone on this board to communicate with me if you have a conflict, you can't be there. Yes, emergencies happen, text me, call me that day, whatever. But because I guarantee you that prior to any use variance application, 24 to 48 hours in advance, that attorney for that application is calling me and asking me to make sure we have 7 voting members.
Okay, so what about
So-
Monday at noon instead of?
I think it's fine the way it is, because I think we all know that we have to
I think it's fine.
make
the
an
way it is,
effort
too.
to call in advance if we're not going to be there. And if it's an emergency, you didn't know about it on Friday anyway,
Right.
so it doesn't matter.
I think there's other,
Yeah, there is.
other portions for other emergencies too, I think.
Yeah,
if I remember
I
correctly.
don't think that is, that taken in consideration with the other section of this, which I can't see, I don't find right now, I read it. But,
And then the last rule in the whole thing is relaxation of rules.
right,
And
so, yeah,
It
I
allows
think-
for that kind of.
exactly. So I don't think we need to relax that, because it allows for that. So, I mean, if you get sick on a Monday night,
Can't help it.
you can't help that,
course.
and, and that happens. So I think if you're not sick and you intend on coming, say something by Friday, if that's all that means. So I don't think we need to change that.
And does everybody have that, just so everybody knows too, the reason I've been sending out the agendas in a format of a meeting invite is because your deputy mayor of last year asked me to do so with both boards. So does everybody have the capability to respond
I do
to
not.
those?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't either.
I didn't notice if I did or not, to be honest with you, because sometimes I can on the phone, but not on the computer.
Yeah.
It
Is
doesn't-
that a Google Meet thing? Is it, or?
Well, it comes from Outlook,
Yeah, I was just
but
gonna say it's
from my
Outlook. Okay, so that's
understanding,
Microsoft.
Google, because I have Google,
Yep.
like personally too, and from my understanding, I mean, the planning board none of the members on the planning board have, one member that's no longer on the planning board had a problem.
I got that notification last night, I think it was like 9:30.
Yeah, that's when I got it too.
Can we get those earlier? Like, can we get
Oh,
those on
absolutely,
Friday?
yes.
Because that
This-
would be more helpful, I think. 'cause
Oh,
I didn't-
100%.
I almost, if I didn't sit down at my computer at 7 o'clock tonight, I don't know, I would have been here probably an hour late,
Yeah.
because I just turned that on and that notification came in. And it was
No, yeah,
perfect timing.
normally, as everyone knows, they go out, but either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, depending on what I've got going on behind the scenes. But
Yeah.
we also had a new website launch this week, last week, and so there's been
Yeah.
chaos.
Oh,
Kev, Deb, we had talked in the past couple of weeks that your best effort is going to have this released, I think you were saying a week early, correct? Like
Well,
Tuesday?
for
Your
application
best wish.
documents, yes.
Yes.
But even for a meeting notice would be great if we can get it.
Yeah, I can do that
It's
the
on my
Wednesday
calendar,
before.
it's on everybody's calendar, but
Oh, yeah.
when you see the notification coming, it's like, hey, there's a meeting coming.
Yeah, I can do that,
Good.
that'll
Good
be
to
the
know.
goal the Wednesday before.
Yeah, that'd be great.
When did
Since
you
I have
send out-
every other meeting, like, I have to focus, today's focus was this board.
Right.
Tomorrow will be the planning board for next week. So
Right.
that's kind of how I work, behind the scenes. So Wednesdays is the goal to get everything out for your meeting, yes.
When did you send out that email that we had to respond to? Or that?
For this meeting?
Yeah.
It went out, Jerry's right, it went out last night.
Oh, I don't even see
Like
it.
9:20, I think.
Yeah, it was late.
I don't know
But
that.
this meeting did we need to have a quorum? I mean,
No.
yes, we did.
Well, you always have to have a
Right.
quorum to open a meeting, but a quorum is technically 4 unless it's a use variance, then it has to be 5.
Yeah.
But,
Is that like the Verizon mail app?
No, it's just for. Yeah, sometimes it goes directly into trash for some reason, I don't know.
well, if anybody has an issue, just let me know. I mean, you can always respond to it as
Yeah.
just a regular email.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
okay.
will or will not be, whatever, but if anybody has an issue, just let me
Yeah,
know.
just, in the future, just so, send a test one out, saying
Okay.
this is a test. I'm testing the system, because that way we can see if it works or not.
I'll send it with the roster, when I
Yeah,
update the roster. and I'll
Right,
send it.
yeah, this is a test, please, this is a test of the meeting response, and by the way, here's the roster, yeah,
Got it.
okay. By the roster, please please give Deb cell phones, home phones, drumbeat, however you get contacted,
Email.
because,
Smoke signal?
Share your
Smoke signals.
location with her on iPhone.
because
Please no.
if you just give us your home phone, you're not always sitting by it, if you still have one, to be honest with you. But please give Deb as many phone calls, numbers as you can, because we need to call people sometimes for different emergencies or different reasons. So,
My cell phone number is on that, you'll see it too, everyone. I mean, you can always text me too.
we went a little astray here.
The phone?
Oh, it is?
Yes, phones near the
Yeah,
microphone
yeah.
Yeah,
base.
another do and
Have it go
don't for board members. Don't put your
Um,
phones up by the mics.
We're talking about the zoning board of adjustment rules. Any other questions or concerns over them that we haven't discussed? I mean, we've actually hashed these out a few times, so. Hearing none,
Wait, Mr. Chairman, there was that typo you pointed out.
oh, yeah, you
What
can
page
fix
is-
that, page 14.
Page 14.
Yeah, it's just an of,
Yeah.
it's an or instead of an of.
Yeah.
You can fix that,
Yeah.
that's a typo.
Yeah. I think I-
That's not gonna really change, everybody reads it as or. There was a typo in the first paragraph on page 14, it said, for reasons of interest or otherwise, and it said of otherwise, so that's gonna be changed to the word or.
Yep.
Other than that, any other questions or concerns about it? Hearing none, can I have a roll call on these?
Well, we need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, but do
So
I have a
moved.
motion to approve the rules of the zoning board of adjustment?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Vice Chairman Grosskopf.
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg.
Yes.
Mr. Aronio.
Yes.
Ms. Crawford Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Giannakis.
Yes.
Mr. Zadrozny.
Yes.
Mr. White.
Yes.
And Chairman Grant.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Yay! We did it. It's a big deal, guys, because a lot of boards don't have these. I mean, we're cutting edge here.
Man, number
Now I get to go
one.
do the planning boards.
Yeah, now you gotta do, yeah, good luck on that.
Yeah.
So, now we've gotten through that. Any other business?
Yes, I do have one piece of business. So, this board has received an application for the old PNC Bank site here in town, on the corner of, what is the corner?
Plainfield Avenue.
Thank you, Plainfield and Valley.
Valley Road.
That will be proposing a Wendy's.
Okay.
And the reason I'm telling the board now, because I would like the board's approval on previous applications for restaurants that we've had on Valley Road. And this applicant has also submitted a traffic report. So I want to get the board's feedback. If you all wish to, we will hire our traffic engineer.
I think we do need that, because this is an intersection, it's even worse in some cases. We have to make sure how the traffic flow is on this.
And we also brought up from other applications, a lot of pedestrians through that area with that sidewalk. that we
Yeah,
have there.
right. I mean, this has a lot more complications to it than just a straight in and out on Valley Road, so.
And traffic just increased from the Taco Bell being in that area.
Unfortunately for them, not that much.
Well, you know.
We
But-
approved something else further down on Plainfield.
Yes, that building that
That's what I was
hasn't been
talking
built
about,
yet.
Gary.
Yeah.
We
That-
also
that's
approved a
what Jerry's
pedestrian
referring to, yeah.
walk through there to,
Yeah,
to meet up with PNC in the future.
but I'm sure Wendy's wants to get a sidewalk to them. Yeah, that's a good point. But that would be, everybody agreeing with getting a traffic?
Yeah, I
think
it's
Please.
Great,
Okay.
terrific.
Maybe a good idea.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's important because I'm not saying their traffic guy's gonna pull one over us, but we gotta have our own.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But that's why I bring it up to the board, so we can decide
Yeah.
collectively.
And when do you anticipate them coming before us?
Well, so, I'm not sure. So our planner and our engineer are reviewing it now. I gave them about a 3-week period
Okay.
to let me know if they feel that we should have a technical review with the
Okay.
applicant and their professionals prior to scheduling the hearing.
Okay.
Might be a good idea for this.
So, yeah, generally for commercial applications, something like this, that's what we do behind the scenes. Unfortunately, because of the type of variance that it is, we can't have any members of the board
Right, sit on it.
involved in that technical review process. So it's basically our professionals and the applicant's professionals. So if our professionals feel that it's necessary, then I will schedule that probably end of February, I would think,
Right.
and hopefully get them in by
March.
early mid-March, sometime in that timeframe. That would be the goal.
So, next meeting, guys, Tom's gonna have to be your captain because the one application is right next to a house I own. So I'm definitely within 200 feet. I'm within 2 feet. So I have to recuse myself, and there's no reason for me to sit on the first one because it's just a deck. So I'm gonna be bowling that night. So it came at a good time. But all right. So anything else? What's coming up besides those two for the second meeting in February?
Well, I know of about 5 or 6 applications that are pending that are coming your way shortly, but the submissions, I'm still helping with people behind the scenes of the submissions. So right
Okay.
now, we have the 2 that aren't scheduled for February 4th, and then we have Wendy's right now. But like I said, I know of at least,
But there's other ones coming.
oh, yeah,
Okay.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's important, guys, just to let the 2 alternates know. Just because we may have a full board at one meeting and the applicant's presenting to us, there's nothing to prevent that applicant from being carried if it's not completed. And the next board meeting, you might be voting. So you're encouraged to take as much interest, as much attention, and ask as many questions, because just because you might not be the voting member at that particular meeting, the next one you might be. It's happened more than once, so just make sure you pay a close attention to it, because it's very important for the applicant to know that every board member has the same information and the same knowledge.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
To add to Ed's point, for our new alternates for now, because you will all move up, because every one of us here did. You have the same rights, responsibilities as the rest of the official board. You can ask any question
Well.
in due course. You can have any opinion. You will be asked to opine before the vote comes through.
Right.
It's only at the vote where anybody in the audience and the applicants
Knows.
will know that you may or may not be an actual voting member that evening.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're no different.
during the course of the meeting, there's no differentiating. It's just at the time she calls the roll, your name's not gonna be called to vote, that's all.
If I can add to that, so just for clarification purposes, so the board, the alternate members are official members of the board. They have the same rights and privileges of all the rest of the board. They can deliberate, they can discuss, they can ask questions, they can question the applicant, witnesses, anybody else. They only vote if we need
Right.
an alternate vote.
Right, yes. And that's why I'm saying it's important, because you may not be voting that meeting, but that meeting might not take a vote. The next meeting might be the vote, and the next meeting, there might be 1 or 2 members missing because of some reason. So it's very important that you do take that duty responsibility. And we do encourage people to visit property. As it says in our bylaws, don't carry on a large conversation with the guy. I mean, obviously, if you need to ask a question about where something's going, like, where's that shed, or, you can ask the guy, because, that way you're not wandering around, but don't carry on a big conversation. Just go look, get the feel of the property. Sometimes it's good because there's supposed to be photographs, there's supposed to be graphs, there's supposed to be charts, but sometimes going to walk the property, you learn a lot more. You know, you learn about what the neighbor's complaining about. You learn about why the neighbor thinks it's a bad idea because he can see something that you don't see on a picture,
Don't walk a property without the homeowner knowing it.
knowing that you're there.
Because you could end up shot.
Yeah, knock on the door and say, I'm a board member, your application's coming before us, I would like to look at the property. And then they will know you're there.
No,
You want to say
probably.
anything?
I was just gonna say that's the reason why you guys are alternates, because the last two board members got shot, that's what.
Yeah, we know. But,
Very
no.
comforting there.
It's, no, it's important because a lot of times the properties like the one on Plainfield and Valley Road, you can see that property when you drive past it. But somebody's backyard, somebody's property, you don't see it from the road. So sometimes you need to become more acquainted with it. You need to go back there and see, oh, that neighbor's overlooking that, or that's why there's an issue. And it makes sense sometimes to actually go look at it.
Another thing to be aware of is if you have seen the property, or you're aware of the property, it happens to be 2 doors down from your house, but you're within,
You're not
outside of
within
the
the
200-foot, you should somehow, when you're deliberating or in your questioning, mention that you do know the property,
Yeah.
you've seen the property, how you've seen the property. It could be you just drove past because it's on Valley Road, you'll know it. Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's a matter of due process, because, you
Yeah.
know, if you're gonna base your vote on
On what
prior
you know
knowledge.
personally.
Right, you have to give the applicant an opportunity to
Refute it.
ask you questions
Right.
or to refute it if it's, you know, if you're
Yeah.
wrong.
If it's something the applicant disagrees with that you observed,
Right.
they have a right to know that. But
Exactly.
for the most part, I'll tell you that when we have the audience, and we don't have a lot of audience show up, unfortunately, people don't always, well, there's no applicant tonight, but for these applicants, they don't always show up. And when they do show up, surprisingly enough, it's not always negative. I mean, we had some people show up that were actually in favor of the application, which usually you don't anticipate. Usually you anticipate people showing up that are against something. But we do have actual people that show up that say they're encouraged and they want that person to get the variance. But I try to be very tolerant of people to speak and allow them to ask questions within scope. I mean, I'm not gonna let them stand in for an hour, but I like to give everybody a chance to speak and tell us something that we might not know. We've had the audience bring up issues and ask questions that made us think about something, because they know more about the situation than we do. So a lot of times what they say from the public does give us pause and give us a reason to analyze something a little more. So you do learn something from the audience. So that's why it's important that they do show up. If you get stopped on the street and people ask you about applications, you just say you have to come to the board. You know, the board meets, the application's gonna be before us, and then I come before the board and say, speak your mind, listen, whatever you wanna do, don't discuss it in any length. You can tell them when it's gonna be here, you can tell them they have to come to the board to hear about it. But don't discuss it with them, because, people wanna hear things because they're either positive or negative, but they wanna pick your brain. Don't get into a conversation with people about things.
If I could piggyback off that, Mr. Chairman, your role as a board member, this is what we call a quasi-judicial proceeding, right? So it's not a court, but it's pretty close, you know, quasi-judicial, right? So with that in mind, think about yourself as a judge, right? Would a judge discuss a case with some random person on the street? No. You know, would a judge like talk inappropriately about somebody who's before him? Maybe, but they shouldn't.
Right.
So, you know, just try to keep that in mind. It's a good rule of thumb to remind yourself of.
Yeah, no negative or positive comments.
Right, right.
Because
Neutral.
it can actually be the grounds for an appeal, if we grant or deny something. So we don't want to make an issue for ourselves. When we grant or deny something, we want it to be solid, based on what we heard at the meetings, based on logic, based on common sense, and that it's pretty much appeal-proof, if you can have that. But any questions from the new members that you might have?
No, thank you for explaining the things.
Okay.
Right.
We will have, when an application comes through with a D variance, a C variance, all those different wording, the reports that we get from the planner and the engineer will explain what those are, and they'll explain the burden of proof that the applicant has to meet. And if you read those reports, combined with what our attorney mentions during the application, you pretty much understand the negative and the positive impact of the properties. So just make sure, you get a lot of information out of the planner's report. Read that carefully, because that'll explain to you almost her questions that she asks, and her analysis go through things very clearly. And our engineer especially, he'll explain things too in his report. So just read those, and pretty much that should give you a basis of your questioning along with your knowledge.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. If nothing else, read those reports,
Yeah.
because they're the most, probably gonna explain the proposal to you the best.
And also the applicants, if they have reports they give us, read those. Because they explain what the applicants are gonna be doing, and what they intend to do. And a lot of times, there's been times when the applicant's information is either contradicting, or has to be fixed, or has to be modified, and our experts will mention that. You know, there's a discrepancy in their architect and between their engineering, or there's a number off. Those things always happen, because people don't look at each other's reports. Or they're using a different measuring stick, I don't know. But, all right, with that said, I think we're pretty much done, right? Do I hear a motion to adjourn? I have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, we're done.